Following devastating flash floods in Spain that killed at least 95 people, residents attempted to salvage what they could from their destroyed houses as crews looked for victims in stalled automobiles and sodden structures on Thursday. The greatest natural disaster to hit Spain in a century left a path of devastation, and there are worries that more atrocities may be revealed from the several layers of mud that walls of water left behind late Tuesday and early Wednesday. Unknown numbers of persons are still unaccounted for. Transport Minister Oscar Puente of Spain stated, "Unfortunately, there are dead people inside some vehicles." The extensive devastation brought to mind the aftermath of a tsunami or hurricane. At least 92 people were killed in the hardest-hit area of Valencia, where mud blanketed roadways in dozens of neighborhoods and heaped cars on top of one another like fallen dominoes, uprooted trees, felled power lines, and household belongings. Rapidly flowing water created rivers that ripped down houses and businesses, carrying away automobiles, people, and everything else in its path. It also transformed small streets into death traps. Roads were rendered unrecognizable by the floods, which also destroyed bridges. When the storm transformed the V31 highway south of Valencia City into a floating cemetery with hundreds of cars scattered across it, Luis Sanchez, a welder, was among the fortunate ones. He claimed to have saved multiple lives. "I noticed corpses drifting by," Sanchez remarked. "I called out, but nothing. When they were able to enter, the firefighters took the elderly first. Since I'm from the area, I made an effort to assist and save lives." People were trapped and sobbing everywhere. After helicopters rescued about 70 individuals, regional authorities reported late Wednesday that it appeared no one was still stranded on rooftops or in cars in need of rescue. Following a meeting with emergency services and regional officials in Valencia on Thursday, the first of 3 official days of mourning, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez stated, "Our priority is to find the victims and the missing so we can help end the suffering of their families." Damage to crops and railroads. Although autumn storms that can bring flooding are common along Spain's Mediterranean coast, this was the most severe flash flood event in recent memory. Scientists attribute it to climate change, which is also responsible for the Mediterranean Sea's warming and Spain's rising temperatures and droughts. The majority of the suffering occurred in Paiporta, a 25,000-person town adjacent to Valencia City, where Mayor Maribel Albalat reported 62 fatalities on Thursday. Floods never occur in Paiporta, and this type of issue never arises. Albalat told national network RTVE, "And we found a lot of elderly people in the town center. It was a real trap because a lot of people came to get their cars out of their garages." Although the towns close to Valencia suffered the most, the storm's wrath was felt across vast areas of the Iberian Peninsula's northern and southern shore. There were 2 confirmed deaths in southern Andalusia and 1 in the nearby Castilla-La Mancha province. Emilian Garcia Page, the regional president for Castilla-La Mancha, reported that numerous persons were missing in the town of Latur, including at least 1 Guardia Civil police officer. Although none of the almost 300 passengers were injured, a high-speed train derailed on Tuesday night, leaving homes without water as far southwest as Malaga in Andalusia. Heavy rains and flooding also destroyed farms and greenhouses in southern Spain, which is referred to as Europe's garden for its exported fruit. The storms caused a hailstorm that damaged cars in Andalusia and a strange tornado near Valencia. As the Spanish weather agency issued a red alert for several counties in Castellón, in the eastern Valencia region, and for Tarragona in Catalonia, heavy rains persisted Thursday further north. Southwest Cadiz was under an orange alert. The Prime Minister declared, "We are still facing this storm front. You can save lives if you stay at home and follow the official advice." Despite the devastation, the search continues. In the hunt for remains and survivors, more than 1,000 troops from Spain's emergency rescue groups accompanied local and regional emergency personnel. By Wednesday evening, the troops had rescued 110 people and recovered 22 bodies. From the town of Utiel, where at least 6 people perished, Ángel Martínez, who was with a military emergency squad, told Spain's national radio network RNE, "We are searching house by house." According to the Spanish news agency EFE, about half of Valencia's population received electricity by Thursday after about 150,000 were without it on Wednesday. Unknown numbers relied on whatever bottled water they could find because they lacked running water. With multiple highways closed and train lines disrupted, including the high-speed service to Madrid, which officials estimate won't be fixed for 2 to 3 weeks, the area remains somewhat isolated. In Catarroja, a village south of Valencia, a man sobbed as he showed a reporter from the national channel RTVE the shell of what had previously been the lower floor of his house. It appeared as if a bomb had gone off inside, destroying possessions and furniture and removing paint from some walls. Others smashed and grabbed items as a result of the pandemonium. On Wednesday, 39 people were arrested by the national police for robbing establishments in storm-affected districts. To prevent the looting of residences, vehicles, and shopping centers, the civil guard sent out officers. Concerned officials discuss late flood warnings. Officials from the regional government were taken aback by the severe weather occurrence. The Valencian village of Chiva received more rain in 8 hours than it had in the previous 20 months, according to Spain's National Weather Office, which described the downpour as extraordinary. However, the next day's relative calm also provided time for introspection and critical analysis of the official response. The Valencian regional government is facing criticism for failing to transmit flood warnings to people's mobile phones until Tuesday at 8 p.m., long after the National Weather Agency had issued a red alert for heavy rains and when flooding had already begun in certain areas. In the Valencian village of l'Alcúdia, the mayor, Andreu Shalom, told RTVE that police were still looking for a missing truck driver and that at least 2 individuals had died, including a daughter and her elderly mother. He also bemoaned the fact that he and his fellow residents were unaware of the catastrophe that occurred on Tuesday night when the Magro River overflowed its banks. "I had no information, so I was on my way to check the river level," Shalom stated. "I went with the local police, but we had to go back because the town was already being inundated with mud, water, reeds, and dirt. After the rushing water had already pushed open the front entrance and filled the first level, forcing her family to evacuate upstairs," Mari Carmen Perez, who was calling from the Valencia City neighborhood of Barrio de la Torre, claimed her phone buzzed with the flood warning. According to Perez, a cleaner, "They had no idea what was going on. Everything has been destroyed. We have never seen anything like this, the people here." Regional President of Valencia Carlos Mazan defended the crisis management of his administration, stating that, "All our supervisors followed the standard protocol."